right there on the beginning of the whole big deal there like that.
We are the arm of the government, so pleasant yet so cruel. We control your every move. We rule everything you do. We'll tax you for your food. We'll tax you for your gas. And brother, if I could, I'd tax you for your ass.
If I could, I'd tax you for your ass, Timmy. That's what the government does. Hey, Timmy, good to see you. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Here we are. What, January 15?
Free cold outside, right? But welcome to another episode of Truth, Lies, and Political Bullshit. I'm Sean Morse, your host, my good friend, co-host Timmy Thibodeau from the Fifth Ward, and we're going to jump right into it. So, Tim, did you get a chance to catch the news where the city of Albany, the beautiful city of Albany, the safe city of Albany,
Yep.
is making claims that for the first time, crime is going down. They're showing the new stats. Crime is going down. And I thought to myself, you know what? I know crime's going down.
Well, because it's winter.
Well, it's not only that, because crime is going down because we don't arrest people no more.
Right.
We
Right.
don't prosecute people no more. So when you don't arrest people and you don't prosecute people, guess what happens?
Right.
Your stats
Crime
go
goes
down.
down. Your stats go down. Less complaints.
And so
It's winter, as I said,
and it's winter, but here's the funny part, right? So major crimes everybody keeps an eye on, right? So
Yeah.
thank God in Albany murders have gone down. I don't know if that means people are still shooting at each other and they missed, or if there's been a relaxed atmosphere with the shooting and guns. I hope it's the latter of the two. But guess what went up?
Where?
Maybe because it's cold and it's winter.
Shoplifting?
No, rape.
Oh.
So crime's gone down, but rape's gone up.
Okay.
And all the other shit that they're not keeping track of, well,
So
that's
rape-
just
Right. So if crime goes down, rape's not a crime?
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. And you know what they're not telling you? Like if you're walking down the street and somebody hits you over the head with a baseball bat,
Yeah.
they just they dismiss that. So
Yeah, that's
so
not a crime.
that's right. And so I was listening to the new police chief, who's the old police chief, because the
Yeah,
last
right.
police chief left. It's a tangled web there. Let me see. I don't know how to do this, Timmy. This is the first time I'm gonna try this. Let me see if I can get this the play.
Think all bananas are good for you? Think
Oh,
again.
you gotta watch
Hi,
the
I'm Dr.
stupid,
Brian Paris from Health and Wellness Tools. We've helped tens of
Yeah, you
thousands
gotta
of
watch
people
the ad
suffering from
first. Skip
arthritis.
that ad.
Say they recovered 180 guns in 2024. That's up from 138 the year before. They hope that trend continues, they say, to impact crime overall, which they say is down over that same time period. One crime, though, has gone up. That's the crime of rape. CBS 6's Tom Meschen exploring why tonight. He is live in the studio. Hi, Tom.
Hey, great. Thank you very much. As you can see from this graphic here, Albany police say crime is down from 2023 and 2024 in every single one of these categories except rape. It's up to 91 from 62 in 2023.
Oh, that's a hell of a
Today
lot.
we asked why. Albany Interim Police Chief Brendan Cox saying in part it's a change in definition.
Change in
Serious
definition.
sexual offenses, but were not categorized under the rape category for Part 1 crimes. Obviously, there were still extremely significant offenses. They just weren't considered Part 1 crimes. They should have been, and they now are.
Of the 91 crimes of rape, they've
So if that's not a slap in the
Categorized it to make it
yes,
sound
if
like
that's
it's
not
safer.
So these liberal cities
Hmm.
who are trying to allow criminals to run free and justify because they're getting a shit kicked out of them,
Yep.
right? Politically, change the categories so that certain things that once fit into this pigeonhole of this, these crimes of terrible magnitude are now not so bad no more because we took them out of that pigeonhole. They're no longer a moral turpitude crime, Timmy. They're just
Right.
like a crime A, crime B, crime C.
Right. So if it's rapes, okay, that they don't count.
No, they don't count. See, it doesn't
No, they
matter
don't count.
because the
That's
bottom
not really
line
a
is
serious crime. Okay.
as long as they could figure out how to hide the shit from the people,
Yep.
as long as they can stand at the podium straight faced like that Kathy Sheen, the worst mayor Albany's ever had,
Yep.
and tell you that it's safe, I say to you, bullshit. What's the name of the show? Truth, Lies, and Political Bullshit. That's political bullshit. Why don't Kathy Sheen go walk down Arbor Hill by herself at 1 o'clock in the
Well,
morning?
she won't get raped.
Well, yeah, she's surrounded by police,
They'll
and
run the
she's,
other way. Yeah.
well, the bottom line is it's sad when you try to trick the people.
Yeah.
It's terrible when you try to make people feel like they ought to be safe, because I think that sets them up to be not safe, doesn't it?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. Hey, it's safe to go
I mean,
on out there, and you go on out there, and shit happens, right?
Well, you tell people, don't worry, it's safe around
Well,
here, and
look
then they
what's
go
going
out
on
and get hit
in
over the
right,
head.
right, and look at what's going on in New York City now. Hogle or the New York City Police Department, they're now putting a patrol officer in all the subways.
Well, they
Okay, and all
a
the
little
decks
late,
and everything. Okay,
a little late.
yeah, a little late after you get thrown onto an incoming train.
They took a homeless woman who was struggling in life. They lit her on fire.
Hmm.
How the hell can anybody light you on fire inside of a subway car?
Yeah.
How can you not? Today we could send people, we're almost ready to go to Mars, for Christ's sake. You can't put cameras in all those cars.
No kidding.
You can't
I
make
do
it
believe
safe.
there was a camera in that car, and that's how they caught this guy actually lighting her on fire. But
Well, I'll
he
stand
sits
corrected if
there-
that's the case, but
Yeah,
there
he
should be.
sits there and watches her burn. What kind of human
When
being
I
does
watched
that?
the video, even the cop stood there and watched her burn.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
helped her. It was
Yeah.
the sickening,
Well, it's
sickening,
right, it's that
sickening.
penny guy. Okay, you get involved, you get sued.
Yeah, well, you get sued, you go to jail. Everybody's afraid,
Yeah,
But
it's getting so bad, Sean. It's killing the Good Samaritan concept built in all
My
of us that cover
personal
someone's aid.
belief is Albany is not safe.
Mhm.
And if it was so safe, the sheriff's department wouldn't be down there patrolling with the police. And I think
is
if you
true,
asked
they're
any
still there.
cop, I think if you asked any cop, instead of the political hacks that that get appointed and have to worry about their jobs, some of them, I think they would tell you different than the leadership who's telling you that it's safe to go to Albany. I don't know how many people watch the show, go to Albany and hang out, but this guy's not going to Albany, man. That's
Yeah.
for sure. So that was something I thought was really interesting because
Yeah.
that's the game they're playing now. Hey, did you get a chance to watch any of the confirmations?
Yeah, I did, and especially the Department of Defense with Pete Hegseth. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
some of the grilling that this guy took, okay, over total bullshit. Okay, that
Let-
these senators haven't done themselves for them.
Oh, these moral compass bastards. Listen,
Yeah,
Timmy, I hate to tell you, I know them. I drank with them. They would they would go over to the Fort Orange Club. You know what they do? They drink some beers before the meetings because a
Right.
lot of them live out. I'm talking about the local guys just in Albany.
yeah,
They live
yeah.
outside of,
But
they
they do
don't.
the same thing in Washington.
Listen, we had John Sweeney on,
Hmm.
right? John Sweeney was the one who was like the king of the parties. We did a whole segment on Truth, Lies, and Political Bullshit,
Yeah.
and he talked about all the drinking and all the shit that went on, and the parties, and every night there's another party, and someone's throwing a party, and And
Yeah.
so everybody knows what they're doing, right? But let me
Mhm.
see again. You know, I want to see if I can get this to come up.
What's his name? Tim Kaine, right? The clown.
Yeah, he's a clown. Let me see if I can get this to pop up though, Timmy,
Yeah,
because
let's
I'm
give
not
it a shot.
I'm not so sure how it works.
Thank you, Mr. Hegseth. I'm
got him.
looking forward to this opportunity to talk.
Look
I
at
want to
this piece
return
of
to the
shit.
incident that you referenced a minute ago that occurred in Monterey, California in October 2017. At that time, you were still married to your second wife, correct?
I believe so.
And you had just fathered a child by a woman who would later become your third wife, correct?
Senator, I was falsely charged,
Hey,
fully
you-
investigated, and completely cleared.
So you think you were completely cleared because you committed no crime? That's your definition of cleared? You had just fathered a child 2 months before by a woman that was not your wife. I am shocked that you would stand here and say you're completely cleared. Can you so casually cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you are completely cleared? How is
Senator-
that a complete clear?
Senator, her child's name is Gwendolyn Hope Hegseth, and she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old.
And she
I'm
was,
glad
and
she's here.
you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
Those were false.
This guy is going. First of all, that piece of shit senator. You know who his best friend is?
Billy Clinton.
His best friend's Bill Clinton.
You're
Bill
right,
Clinton
Epstein
would
Island
hump
Billy.
a freaking grasshopper.
Right.
Okay?
And
He's
he
got
was
more
the running
charges
mate.
and allegations
Right.
against him for
Running mate
sexual
with
abuse,
Hillary Clinton.
rape. He's on Epstein's plane 47 times. And this
Yeah.
piece of shit senator, who I hate this guy. And
Yeah,
it's
and
not
he-
easy to
look,
hate somebody you don't
right.
know. But every time I look at him and I hear him talk, I cringe. And he's
You know
he's
who he
telling
looks like?
Pete
Red
Hegseth
Skelton.
because he had an affair. First of all, how do you know about his affairs? How do you know anything about the guy's personal life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Timmy, the
Yeah.
guy's he's in front of the Senate
Yeah.
to be confirmed for a position, not to have his life ripped apart. I don't see how one connects with the other,
Yeah.
but it's a shame how they did that. It shows you the Democrats and the problem they're having. Timmy, I think you're frozen up on me, are you?
Something's
Yeah, you're
going
not even
on
there,
my
so
end.
I'm talking to myself. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well,
Pete Hegseth
can you hear me now?
is really I like the guy. I think he's a young guy, and he's got like all of this experience. He's been to war. You know, he's written books on war and the Pentagon. And Jesus, Mary and Joseph, what are we going to do? Have 80-year-old men for the rest of our lives deciding what's best for a whole generation of new people? This is a different world. It's a different time. Get rid of these senators that are 75, 80 years old. Send them on their way. Vote these bastards out and find a new generation of people. Timmy, you back?
Timmy's
Timmy's
I
gone.
think
I don't know
so.
what
I
the
mean,
hell
something
happened to
happened. You hear me?
He must have got drunk and fell off his chair. So, you know, I think Pete Hegseth's a great guy. I think he's going to do a great job. He cares about the soldiers. He don't want to care about anything else, right? He cares about the soldiers. And I don't know. I think every time I watch these pieces of shit talk about, you know, the moral compass that they are, it just gets me sick. But there was a senator who stuck up for him. Now, again, this is the first time that I'm trying to put these screens up because I used to have somebody do it, but I don't no more. Let me see if I can put this up because I want you to hear this. This was probably the best thing I heard ever.
How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job?
Good for you.
And don't tell me you haven't seen it because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No. But it's for show.
So that has got to be one of the
Partisanship,
best
the weaponization
best things that
will
I've ever
be
seen.
gone.
Pam Bondi.
When it they attack this guy over his, his personal life. And, oh, you used to drink too much? Were you drinking on the job? And this senator comes out and says, whoa, not so fast, assholes. We all drink. We all come in at 12 o'clock at night after we've been out drinking all afternoon because there's a special vote that's got called and we got to show up. So don't pretend like you're the moral compasses of the world. Most of these guys I know are out there drinking. A lot of them are drunks. A lot of them are divorced. A lot have been had allegations. Do you know that the United States Senate has a slush pool of money that's put aside in the event that they have some kind of sexual harassment charges raised against them? That's no bullshit. That is the truth. They have a slush fund of money so that if somebody goes after one of them to sue, they have a slush fund to pay them. Now, tell me that's not the kettle calling the pot, right? Black. It's ridiculous. Hey, let me just jump over here for a second because I think this. I don't know what happened to Timmy, man. Yeah, look at he's still missing.
Here we are. Hey,
I hope he's okay. Hope he didn't fall and bang his head. Listen,
No,
while
right here.
Timmy's off doing whatever Timmy does, if you like our show, do me a favor, will you? Will you jump over to our YouTube channel and subscribe? Hit the button. No, Timmy's not on that slide either. I thought maybe I screwed up and I put him somewhere, but I have no idea where he is. So, hey, Timmy, wherever the hell you are, we love you and we hope you come back soon. In the meantime, we're going to just keep going on, man. So I think something that Cohost people can finally be proud of because it's a long time coming. And it happened when I was in office. When I was in office, we had a situation where a young baby died and nobody really understood what happened. And it's taken some time. And the guy's name, and you can see his face while he's looking down in shame, the way he should be looking down. He was arrested, and then he took off over to Mexico or wherever the hell he went to hide. His name was Anthony or Jada. But finally, Cohost people, he got sentenced to 20 years in prison. There's Timmy again, walking all over the place. I don't know. The more we do the podcast, the more I think that I've been drinking. So on the good note for Cohost is that this piece of shit who murdered a little baby by allowing the baby to ingest drugs. That's right. He ingested drugs. And then they took off. Now, my question would be, how did these two guys, this guy and his boyfriend or his husband or whatever, yes, Tim, we see you. We tried to put you back on 6 times and you're walking all over the place. Your head's green. Your face is green. What the hell's going on? Why do we got Timmy on the show? He looks more like a Martian, for Christ's sake.
Hey, as soon as you started playing those videos, you knocked me off.
No, I had nothing to do with it.
You did.
You're down in a shitty basement with a cheap system.
not in the basement.
All the people that were watching left. I'm sitting here by myself, talking to myself like I'm like a bozo. But so the good news is
I'm back.
Timmy's back, and this guy's in prison for the next 20 years, and then he gets probation. You know what scares me? That in New York State, they're trying to pass laws, and we talked about this, and we talked about it not that long ago when this flyer went out from John McDonald, right?
Yeah.
And part of that flyer was all the
bail reform and stuff. Now Sean went off. I'm sure I'll be blamed for this. Now Sean's gone. Hey, can anybody out there hear me? If so, just send a message to me on the comment side over there, okay? Because I don't have control of the system. Sean does, and somehow he started playing the videos, and then I got knocked out. Now he got knocked out, and it looks like he's coming back. Yeah, that's true. Okay, thanks, Darren. I can see your now. Look, you hear this? Sean's calling me. He's gonna blame me right here. Hang on. Hi, Sean. Your camera died? Oh wow. Okay, I'll do the best I can. You, okay. Okay. So look at folks. Um, that was Sean on the phone. His camera died. His everything shit the bed on him. He told me. Okay. So typically we work everything online. We use a program. Bottom line, okay, it's I'm on my own, so I got to do this myself. So look at he wanted to talk about a few things here that he had on up. We had a man sentenced, okay, in 2019. Okay, I have no control over the screen, okay, and I can't change anything because it's all done on his end. But I'll tell you a couple of things that I do want to talk about, okay. And some of the comments that are on up. Okay. Um, Joanna, and I'm just going to comment about some of the comments that come on in. Okay. It says from Joanna Doggett. Okay. She's noted that the speed limit signs coming into the city have been changed, but not the signs throughout the rest of the city. So the bottom line is, okay, is I know that up on Western Avenue, there's one sign that says 30 and another one 25. So sooner or later, they're going to have to get around and changing all of those signs to 25. They're just following in the footsteps of what they did down in Albany, okay? Albany lowered their speed limit to 25 miles per hour, thinking that that is going to save lives, okay? So, I mean, it is what it is, folks, okay? I personally think even if you lower it to 25, people are not going to drive around when it's 25, okay? So, also tonight at 8 o'clock is the final farewell address by Joe Biden. And so we were interrupting his farewell address, and I guess Sean, being a big Trump backer and everything there, he got booted off of the air. And I see he's trying to come back on. Okay, he might get back in. We'll take a look. But as we go along here, look, there was a workshop yesterday in City Hall, and one of the questions was, why can't we do workshops in a senior center? Well, for those who recall, okay, when COVID was around, they were recording the workshops on Zoom and stuff like that, even though the quality was terrible. But the city really should invest in a video audio system that can broadcast. Okay, they're not that expensive nowadays. In fact, they're fairly cheap. And they can broadcast right out of the council chambers. But here's what happened is when Adam Biggs, president of the council, says, hey, anybody have any comment about moving our workshops maybe over to the Cohoes Senior Center? It was fairly silent. And then I think it was Amanda Primo said, well, the reason why we can't is we unable to record. Well, they had no city clerk there last night. No one was recording the workshop anyway. Okay, they don't keep minutes. Okay, they don't record anything. At least that's what I could tell. And there was no city clerk, so I don't know what the point was. But anyway, that happened last night. And then, of course, new councilwoman April Trudeau, she managed to get the chief of police in. And what he did is explain how the patrols are going on around the city in order to have a presence wherever you are, okay? But here's what really happens and what I've seen actually happen with me. If I had to call down City Hall and needed to go in and wanted to file a complaint, you got to go down to City Hall, got to go into that little room there, and then they pull a patrol off of the street. to go in there and write up your complaint, which means you could go down there, you could be waiting an hour if they're on a traffic stop or out with fire department on an emergency or whatever. But that's really how it's done. And secondly, if you don't see patrols down on the island, it's not that they're not there, but they may have been called to another emergency scene. They could have been on an arrest. A lot of things could have happened, and that's why you may not see someone there. But according to the chief, they do have a presence on the island, okay, pretty much 24/7. Anybody else got any comment? I see Susan Big. You're on, Sue. And we got Matt Value, okay, if that's how we say your last name, okay. Any more comments? Roll in. While I'm waiting for comments, here's something that happened in Congress. They did pass the no trans in girls and women sports, okay, in the House. But now it's gone over to the Senate, and of course, these people over there have already thrown in at least 26 amendments, okay, and they're looking to really try to tank this thing, okay. So just today, there was a basketball team in which they had a trans woman, okay, on a team playing against another all-girls team, and the trans woman scored 29 points, just 4 points shy of the entire opposing girls basketball team, okay? And this is why it's just unfair to the girls, unfair to the women, okay? So I hope that they do pass this. If they don't pass it, I hope it's done by executive order by the president, okay? And you got to put an end to it. And the Democrats' biggest argument seems to be, well, if you get rid of that, then it brings it down to the point where you have to turn around and basically body check young girls to see if they really are male or female. That's a bunch of horseshit. Everybody knows it, okay? You're either a male or you're a female. If you're something in the middle, okay, don't go beating up on the women, okay, in sports. So, anybody else any comments here? Okay, Matt, thank you for the comment. I don't know how long I'm going to be staying on. It's only a 1 hour show, and the clock, it's got me at 28 minutes, okay? So, because Sean's camera shit the bed, I'm stuck here doing this thing myself. So I'm probably going to leave early because I don't have him on, okay? The next thing that that I want to talk about is you got to hear this straight from the horse's mouth, folks. The city ethics code has a section called 36-16 and line item C, okay? What it basically says is that you cannot work on political campaigns during your official work day. Now, what's a work day? Well, in Cohoes, our work days are Monday through Friday, correct? Monday through Friday. Your working hours within that day may be 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So what happened is on Thursday, March 28th, there was a walk-out ceremony for a retiring police officer. And that happened at 1 o'clock. And then your typical dignitaries were there, the mayor, Gil Ethier, and his family and friends for this retirement event. After the walk-off, it was about maybe 1:15, 1:30 tops. They went inside City Hall for a snack and drink. While they're inside, what does Mayor Keeler do? He pops out a campaign petition for David Soares, the Albany County DA, okay? And he asked people in City Hall to sign these petitions on their behalf. So you know, they felt, you know, cornered. I'll use that word. And yeah, they turned around, they signed the campaign petition. So what was the mayor doing between 1 and 2 o'clock on an official work day? He was working on campaign stuff. I got a call. Someone asked me, hey, what can we do? We're afraid to say something. We're going to, you know, this could happen to me or that could happen to a relative. I said, I'll handle it. Just give it to me. Give me the detail, which I took. So I filed a complaint with the ethics board Now, they were formed on a new board in May. I filed a complaint on June 12th, and that's when, or actually in May, but I went down on June 12th, okay, for a hearing. And these people were trying to shut me down, didn't want to hear about all the other things going on. So basically is this. Where are we now? We're in mid-January. Mid-January, folks. They had this complaint before them on June 12th, and it's really simple. A fifth grader could figure this out. If the code says you do not work on political campaigns during your official work day, and the mayor's work day was Monday through Friday, that's his days, and the hours within that days are eight. Nowhere in the code does it say, well, you can do it during your lunch break or during your it's silent on that. What it says is specifically your work day. So say if you work for the school district and it says you can't work on political campaigns during your school day. That means throughout your whole school day you can't do it. Okay, it violates the school's ethics code. Well, this is what he did. The mayor violated the city ethics code, and here I am in mid-January. Now, I did read the minutes in December, and it suggested that they dismissed that complaint, that he was doing it in City Hall, despite me providing them with a copy of the petition signed by the mayor as a witness, okay, on that date, March 28th. Okay, despite providing them with witnesses, here we are in mid-January, and these people, after 6 months, okay, now we're in the 7th month, can't reach like I said, a fifth grader can figure this out. All right. So now I'm being told, well, they're going to reach a decision somewhere next month in February. 8 months, folks. Takes them 8 months. Now, do I want something to happen to the mayor? No. Okay, it's probably a wrist slap at most, but he should know better. He was a former chairman of the Cohoes Ethics Board. Okay, he knows better. You don't do this. Okay, he is supposed to set the example. Where is he? He's violating the ethics. And where's the Common Council? They know about this, but you know what they do? They dump it on the ethics board. Okay, and then the ethics board, they review everything. They say, okay, he did or he didn't, and then it goes back to the council, and then the ethics board has no power to impugn anybody. It goes back to the Common Council, and they make final determination. Could be wrist slapping, could be a fine, something along those lines. Okay, but here we are, folks, 7 months, and we're still waiting. Okay, 7 months for something a fifth grader can figure out. All you got to do is read the code, guys. So if you go on the city website, just go to section 36 of the Board of Ethics, look at section 36-16 and go down to line C. It says it's prohibited. Okay, some people, believe they are either above the law or the rules don't apply to them or they live in a bubble. Whatever's going on, I'm telling you, it's just not right. But I'm not so much upset about the mayor doing that. What bothers me is we have an ethics board that needs 7 to 8 months to sort something out this simple. Okay, and that's where we're at. Hi, Sandy. I see Sandy Smith is on. Let me read some of the comments. Okay. What I got here is I got awesome job from Susan Big says, thanks for sticking it out with us, Timmy. Okay, so doing the best I can, seeing Sean caved in, and normally he blames me for every time everything breaks down. So now it's my show. I don't need Sean. Okay, so Brianna Jean Pierre. Could they have been on a lunch break when they were getting signatures? It's a good question, Brianna, but look at, there's no language in the ethics code that speaks of a lunch break, okay? What it simply says is work day, okay? So if it's prohibited during your official work day, that's what applies. And I hear you, Sean, test it if you're trying to come back on. So anyway, it was during a work day, not during his working hours, in which there may be a break or a lunch somewhere in there. So that's how you distinguish work days from working hours. Okay, if you're working on your normal job and you have your own working hour, you can do what you want. But if you're a business, if you work for a business and they say, here's your work day, you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which was March 28th, that was a normal work day for the mayor. So using the term work day is written in the code, it means it's prohibited during the work day. So I would agree with that if we use something other than that language, then you may have an exception, but there is no exception. So that's where we are on that. And I'm still waiting to see what the ethics board is going to come on out and say. And I hear some feedback on this thing. Sean is trying to come back on. I believe it's probably feedback coming back through his microphone. I got his mic, and I can hear something going on in the background, but I can't. I can't see his picture, and I think he's trying to get back on. He's scrambling there right now. Okay, so this is Tim at Crystal Palace, all on my own. Okay. It says Brenda Lee says, I'm just getting here. What happened? I don't know. Sean's system on his end crashed. Okay, so somehow I'm still on and I'm looping through his system. So I don't know why. All I know is this. He started playing some videos, which we never tried to do before, using screen share. And somehow I got knocked off. Then I managed to, I deliberately took myself offline, went back into the system there, and I got back on. Then he disappeared, and he's still gone. All right. So and what you see up on the screen, I have no control over it because he has the software on his end. Okay. And look, at Sean sent me a mess. He goes, I will not be back for a few weeks. Dog ripped wire out of my computer. Oh, here we go. Blaming the dog, the old blaming the dog, okay? Going all the way back to the school days of lunch, okay? Oh, my dog ate my homework, folks. That's why you tell your teacher, my dog ate my homework. So Sean's dog, whose name is Finn, okay, he's a little squatty, ripped the wire out of his computer or whatever, and now he's out of service, okay? We will be revamping all new equipment. This is fun. We'll be revamping all new equipment back by mid-February. Oh boy! So look at we got Sandy Smith. She's laughing. Poor Sean. Here we go. Typically, when things go wrong in this podcast like that, it's always my fault. Now it's his dog's fault. Okay, Jesus. Yeah. Well, I can hear your audio, Sean. Why don't you jump in? We can hear you though. Really? Um, well, what you is? Hey, everybody, can you hear Sean on his phone? If so, he can chat along. Just give me a message here. Anybody, tell me, yeah, Sean, give us a little count. See if you can come back on by your phone. He's a woof woof woof. His dog Finn. Okay, hey, let's see what we got here. Oh dear. Oh dear, Sean, that pup is in trouble. Yep. So I think they're hearing you. You blame it on the dog, Sandy Smith. Okay. Let's see, Matt. You can only hear him. Well, hey, Sean, they can hear you. So why don't you just jump in with what you can do? No, they're saying on the chat that they can. Wait a minute. Susan Big says, no, Tim, we can't hear him. Okay. Sandy Smith says, I can't hear Sean. Well, okay, for listeners, can you hear me? So come on out and let me know. Okay. I can hear you through my headset, Sean. Okay, so look at we're gonna have to have a tribunal for Sean's dog Finn, and the latest report I got is he's being sent to Gitmo. Okay, for the crime of cutting the cables of the Truth, Lies, and Political Bullshit podcast. Okay, it's a pretty serious crime. Okay, and this is what's going on. So, Sean, you're going to have to post a photo of Finn. Okay, and we'll go right about and call him a guilty dog. Okay, so I got Joanna Doggett saying, I can hear you, but not Sean. So, Sean, for some reason, they can't hear you. Okay. Hey, while I got everybody on, okay, we are looking for subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to the show, go ahead and subscribe to the show. Okay. Just click those that bell and that notification on our page there, and you can join it. For a little bit of sports update, okay. There's a new league for the women who played in the WNBA. The new league is called Unrivaled. Okay, they have 36 players. They play 3-on-3, and they play on a 70-foot long court by 50 feet wide. And the Unrivaled League starts up. Their first games will start this Friday at 7 o'clock on TNT broadcast. So it's a first in the nation. It's going to be a 3-on-3. Some of your top women basketball players in the country. Now, why do they do this? Well, because during their off season, they always had to go overseas to continue playing. All right, and they got paid more money. And they finally, Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, both were UConn players. They said, why do we have to go overseas? Why don't we form our own league here? Okay, outside of our WNBA. And that's exactly what they did. And you know what? They're outpacing the WNBA. They got so many sponsors. They have their own facilities. They have workouts. They have locker room, really nice locker rooms. You can go to their website. It's called unrivaled.com. And some of the teams are called the Laces, the Rose, and they're called clubs. The Rose, the Mist, the Phantom. So there's 6 teams, 36 players. And I for one, enjoy watching these games because the women are very competitive, and they do put on a good show if you enjoy watching basketball. I just like to see some of the women dunk more. Okay, I don't know what kind of Sue. You're asking what kind of dog Finn is. Okay, I would say he's a dead dog after what he did to Sean tonight. Okay, but he's a very small dog that's smaller than a poodle, but bigger than a Chihuahua, and he's a very friendly dog, and his name is Finn. But right now he's in the doghouse after what he did to Sean. Okay. So let's see, Sandy. I got a message from Sandy Smith. He said put him in dog jail. I'm sure right now he was kicked for a 30-foot yard field goal attempt, okay, by Sean Morris. So probably good for a good 3 points right now. You're kicking good 30 yards over there. Sean, being a big Cowboys fan, I was usually like to turn around and hit on him about America's team, who hasn't done anything in America in what 35, 40 years, Sean. And now you're blaming your dog for getting knocked off your podcast. Okay, I don't know. Can you still hear me, Sean? No, I know that he's got to be steaming right now. Look at usually it's his little granddaughter that's always making all the noise and stuff in the house, and he has to go down in the basement and be quiet while I'm doing the podcast, and he's got to do everything he can to keep the kids quiet. And then what happens is the dog chews his wire. Okay, you guys got to lay into him about this. You can't let him get away with something this simple. Okay, the dog chewed his wire. So look at. How many people think it's a good idea to really try to do some City Hall workshops in the Cohoes Senior Center? There's been some conflicts. You got to work around their events, that they have at the Senior Center. But look at, I've been there when the Cohoes Local Development Corp did their public meetings, okay, and they operated just fine. And they set up some chairs, they set up some tables, and they functioned just fine. But remember back during COVID, okay, they were able to set up Zoom meeting or something like that in order to attract more people to be able to go and watch the City Hall um, events. But look at, we wrote in our charter that they don't vote during a workshop. But let me explain really what a workshop is. Workshop in Cohoes, even though you have all 6 council members there, okay, all you need to do is have a quorum, which would be 4, okay, a quorum. You could vote during a workshop if you want. It's a public meeting. They're a public body. But we don't do it in Cohoes. In fact, we don't even record the minutes. And even when you want to record minutes, they don't have to be verbatim. They can be a summary or a snapshot of what took place. Okay, so um, and this is why sometimes you'll see they'll schedule a workshop, and then they turn around, they'll schedule a special meeting right after the workshop in which they can conduct business. All right, does that make sense at all? Why don't you just do what any public body can do? Is you get rid of that thing in the city charter, the city code, and saying, look, um, the workshop is a public body. You have a quorum, and you can vote on items, no matter what it is. Maybe you may not want to move money or vote on things that involve money. Save that for the end of the month, in which they typically have a council meeting that's not labeled a workshop. Okay, but it's just a bunch of horseshit, really, by saying that we can't do anything during the work. We only discuss things. Okay, no, it's a public body, folks. They have a quorum. 6 of them are there. They can function as a public body, and the people have a right to go there and ask questions. Okay, and so if they want to do it in the senior center, that's up to them. But the council didn't seem to be too hot on it. And why not just get the equipment, audio and video equipment, and broadcast it? Wouldn't that be cheaper than moving everything? And then anybody can tune in like they did on COVID. Okay. Some other things there that we got going is I know down on the island around February 8th, they do have the winter carnival. So that's something that's coming on up. And they are hiring in the city police department crossing guards. Okay, so anybody interested in being a crossing guard, you can contact the city, but it's really run out of the police department. So they are looking for crossing guards, okay? And let me look at my notes. I got anything else here? I don't think so. I may end up closing this thing a little bit earlier. Okay, rumor is the Cowboys are trying to get Coach Prime. No, the Cowboys already cut a deal with Deion Sanders. McCarthy is out for the Cowboys. He's gone. Deion Sanders is the man. Okay, that's what we're hearing. Okay, dog must thought it was a bone chewing on his cable. That's what Sandy Smith is telling me. Okay, right. I don't know the status of that dog right now, but I imagine that he probably is going to be put outside for the remainder of the night in the cold. Okay, and let me see. You're absolutely right, Sandy Smith. It said Cohoes went downhill. Very sad. Well, I'm going to tell you, Sandy. Okay, I've been sitting on something that is so shocking to the people of Cohoes. Okay, that you're going to be stunned once this comes out. Okay, literally stunned. In fact, you're probably going to be more than stunned. You're going to be really pissed. And the reason why I haven't brought this newest information on out yet is because it's not ripe yet. Okay, but it's getting close. And so a lot of times we'll get calls from whistleblowers. And it could be anybody in the city, okay? It could be DPW workers, it could be police, it could be fire, it could be anybody, and not just city employees, okay? So a host of people are always contacting Sean or I, okay, with information. And what we do our very best to vet whatever information that is sent our way. This way we can try to put out the most truthful information that we can. Okay, and sometimes we won't have all the information, but when we do the best we can when we can. Any more comments before I decide to wrap this thing on up? Okay. Anybody have any eulogies they want to put on out for Finn? Okay, Sean's poor dog. Now, look, you need to go to Sean's Facebook page and really got to lay into him about blaming his dog for getting knocked off the podcast, leaving me here to do it all by myself. Okay, I'm sure this one here won't make it on YouTube. It'll probably get canceled. Okay. How about sending some comments here and let's see. They need to get the drug dealers out. Well, yeah, you know what? The police chief provides a report to the mayor pretty much every day. Okay, and if it's a written report or any kind of a report, I could do a tutorial and tell you how to submit a Freedom of Information request simply by email. And all you got to do is send an email to the city clerk, and in the subject line, put in FOIR request, FOIR request. And then in the body of your email, all you have to do is be as specific as you can of what you're looking for. Say if an accident happened on a certain street corner at a certain time at a certain date, you provide all that information and say you want that incident record or traffic record, okay? And you should be able to obtain it. They'll redact certain information, like maybe an address or a phone number or something like that for privacy. But that's really all you need to do. I do it all the time. I send in FOIA requests, and sometimes it's at arm's length where they should be able to just get their hands on it. Other times they make me wait the maximum 20 days to hand me something that should have been able to be given to me in 1 or 2 days. Okay, they play these games with me all the time. Okay, so but that's all you do. Send an email to the city clerk, put in a subject line FOIA request, go into the body what you're going to type and say, hey, I'm looking for any records that shows that Finn actually did chew that computer cord between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. at Sean Morse's house. Okay, that's a FOIA request. Of course, Sean's not an agency, so he doesn't have to honor the FOIA request. Okay, but any agency that would be, local, city, state, HUD housing, whatever you want, And that's all you do. It's a very, very simple process, okay? And as I go ahead and try to wrap this thing on up, the last comment I'll take from Susan here. What is she telling me? Can everyone please hit the thumbs up on your way out? It really does help the show. Yeah, that would be nice. Look at we use a system called EVMux, okay? And it's an online site that allows us to do this, and I think they operate out of Florida, but I'm not sure. So I'm in my house here in Cohoes, over in the 5th ward, and Sean is in his house. And what we do is we basically remote connect to each other, and we can do these podcasts opposed to me going over to his house or him coming here, because you got to drag your equipment with you. And it looks like Sean just came back on. I see his camera in there. He's on the bottom of the screen. Give us a head count, Sean. I see your camera. And I see your headphone. Are you back?
No, I had to use black tape.
You're black tape. Hey, you're back on. Is Finn still alive?
Yeah, I petted him. I felt bad for him.
Oh, you felt bad for Finn?
But I'm going to have to buy a whole new system.
Well, you know what? Look, if it helps, maybe I can get our followers there to chip in a little bit for some therapy lessons for
No,
Finn.
I'll probably just be, I think I'm going to be down for maybe a week or so, though.
Really?
Yeah,
What's
because I'm going
putting you through?
my cable.
Really?
Yeah,
Your cable TV?
my cable wire.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, look at
I
your
don't know. I
back.
was laughing at you. I was laughing at you because you blinked out. I reached over. I got a piece of paper. All of a sudden, I hear. I look down, and the wire's in half, and my computer's out.
Wow. So I guess it wasn't me that was fading out. Finn was slowly trying to take me off the air. That's what it was. This sounds like a deliberate hit.
Hey,
on
Timmy, it
me.
looks like you did a good job. You don't need me. Maybe you could do your own show, and I could take a 6-month hiatus.
I don't know. I got to ask the people over here or there. Hey, how did I do when Sean bailed on out and playing his dog?
I could hear you on my phone. You did awesome.
Blaming it. Yeah, I've heard it all, Sean. Isn't that the old excuse you use when you don't do your homework? You blame the dog. You ate your papers.
Yeah, but I always did my homework. I always did my homework. I don't know.
Well, look,
Timmy.
I hit on some things that tried to talk about the ethics board needing 8 months to decide something that a fifth grader could figure out in 10 minutes. Okay, and how it works. And one of them did ask a very good question: why can't they do this on their lunch or whatever? But I made it very
It has
clear.
nothing to do with lunch. You can't do any political activities during the workday.
During a work day. And I said they specifically use the word work day for that reason, okay? You don't do it during your work day, and it said an official work day. So I think they must be confused that he went to work on a Thursday, March 28th, and can't figure out what period of time within that work day was really official, okay? But anyway, that's what happened. So, you got anything else to jump in, Sean, now that you're back in?
No, Timmy, I'm being held up by a little piece of.
Well, you're still on. We can hear you. You can see, and people are saying hi,
Yeah.
Sean.
I'm gonna have to get the cable company out here.
To splice the line.
But I also, and plus I also have a little box that connects my computer to the EV Mux. And that's got he bit through both of them. I never seen him do nothing like that before, little bastard. I'm gonna have a talk with him when the show's over.
Yeah, I think so. I already told people, looking right now like he's good for a 30-yard field goal kick.
Well, hey, the good part is this, Tim. You did a great job, and you could probably do next week without me. Maybe I'll be the co-host and you'll be the host.
Okay, thanks for tuning in. I hope everybody had fun while I had to, stretch it out, freak out, having to do this all by myself.
You did a good job. I'm proud of you.
But anyway, have a good night, and we'll see you next week.